Praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders that rule Great Millstone, which taught Israel the truth, taught me the truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, Wa Abba Babal. So the Edomites, they shot a 17-year-old Jake. When I say Jake, I'm talking about a son of Jacob. Most likely he was an Israelite, a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian, which they said he had a gun, but he did not. It was a water bottle. And now these Edomites are saying it was suicide by cop. It says Austin police fatally shoot unarmed teenager in what they say may be suicide by police. All right, but he was unarmed and he only had a water bottle. And I'm going to show you the evidence that this place is ruled by the wicked, the red devil the Bible speaks of. All right, as you can see, these people, they're red. They're not white. They're the devil the Bible speaks of. All right, I just had a situation in Colorado. All right, and you can see this devil here sitting on the porch with a gun. All right, this happened today, July 27th, 2026. All right, and he was discharging a weapon off his porch, shooting towards a neighbor's house. And my house is pretty much straight across the street. And these Edomites, they pretty much do as they please. And he committed a crime, all right, which you could see here. He reckless endangerment, criminal mischief, menacing, right, trespass, a projectile, which he was shooting towards a house, which there's even a medical or a marijuana business that's right across the street from there. There's a lady that has children right across the street from him. So he was endangering everybody, all right? And you can see criminal trespass, which I called the law enforcement, all right, of Sedgwick County, Colorado, and they didn't do nothing, all right? They pretty much, just went about their business, did nothing, all right? Which he was committing a felony, right? He was committing criminal mischief, felony menacing, all right? And this shows you that the world is ruled by the wicked. The wicked are the so-called white race, the red devil the Bible speaks of. And as you can see, he's looking at me pretty much with that rifle in his lap, like trying to be menacing, all right? And I reported it, and there was nothing done about it. And so all I could do is do a sit down on it, showing that the wicked, the so-called white race, they're the devil the Bible speaks of, and they're the wicked that ruled the world. All right, and that's why the world is wicked, because there's no justice. All right, they take peace from the earth. All right, because they're the sword, they're the weapon of mass destruction. All right, these so-called Caucasians, they do mass shootings. All right, and I've had some issues with these Edomites. Not just this guy, but this whole area where I live. These so-called Caucasians, from the police to the fire department to the average trailer trash Edomite, are all racist. All right, there's no justice, right? And I'm just documenting everything, so that I could, cover my ass when I have to defend myself, which it's going to end up in that direction, all right, because these Edomites are pretty much allowed to torment us, all right? And I trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and all we can do is tell the truth, all right? The so-called white man is the red devil the Bible speaks of. And it says that he's going to wear out the saints, all right? Daniel 7, verse 25, and he, being the so-called white race, which were the Greeks and the Romans in the past, shall speak great words against the Most High, which you see their king Nero, the king of Babylon, Nero 47. You know, they mass murder people every day with bombs. You know, with the great sword. And these trailer trash Edomites, they do it, you know, with the gun, but their government does it with weapons of mass destruction. They commit war crimes, and you know, there's no justice in this world because the wicked are ruling. It says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they do this now. You know, I just showed you the laws, and they'll change the laws for themselves to protect themselves, to find themselves innocent, but they'll charge you. Like the same deputy told me, I don't have civil rights. I don't have the right to defend myself. And one time I was, these Edomites came onto my property to attack me and my son. And I told him if I was to shoot one of them, you would arrest me and put me in jail. And he said, yes. You see? And then I follow the laws, and there's no justice. Right? There's not a ticket. The guy just drove off. You know, he talked to the guy and just drove off. You know, pretty much gave him a warning about me. Warned him to watch out for me. Because I would videotaped him and turned him in. And really, they wish murder on us. They want to murder us. All right? Anywhere you go in this God-forsaken country, they want to murder you if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian. All right? They devour us. I just showed you a 17-year-old kid at a playground that was shot, and they're trying to say it was suicide by cop. And he had a water bottle on him. You see? But these Edomite devils, they could get drunk, shoot in public, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. All right? And that's what they're going to do to wear out the saints. They're going to murder a lot of Jake. All right? It says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Which there's a certain time where Yahweh is going to say enough and send Yahweh Shai. And he's going to bring the second death upon these bastards, these Edomites. All right, America is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. All right, and it says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints. So the prophecy is that we're going to take the kingdom of heaven, you know, here on earth, all right, which Esau is ruling, all right, heaven and earth right now. But one day it's going to be us, the Israelites, and we're going to be able to pay them back for all the trouble that they caused us. All right, it says, shall be given to the people of the saints and of the people of the saints, the sanctified Israelites of the Most High Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Which once again it says, the saints shall take the kingdom. Alright? Let's see. Verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So when you go into the interlinear, let's go into the taking of the kingdom. Alright, which it's Malakwa. See, the royalty, reign, kingdom, royalty, kingship, kingly authority, realm of territory, reign of time, which will rule forever. But we have to wait, alright, for Yahushai, and he's going to allow us to take the kingdom. All right, which that's Malak Wata, and it says royalty, royal power, reign, sovereign power. All right, to have dominion, and it's of this realm. All right, the estate, which our land, which they're in our land right now, the counterfeits. All right, they're in our holy land. Right now we're enslaved under them. Malak, which is to be or become king, which there's no queen. The women of our nation will be princesses. All right, to counsel and advise, which we're going to be kings and priests over the other nations. And we're going to pay them back for what they've done unto us. All right. Now, when you go into here, it says, wear out the saints in verse 25. Right, the Edomites are going to wear out the saints. All right, wear out. It's Bala. And it says to wear out, to harass constantly. To harass constantly. And that's what they do. They harass us. And then it says Bala, the root is to wear out. Right, wear out. And then when you see, let's see, I know it says to consume, to waste, which that 17-year-old Jake was wasted. He was consumed by bullets, decay, right? Now when you go to, let's see, I know it has another part that I wanted to get. See, shill, to consume, away. Shill is pertaining to the grave. See, the grave, because they murder us, right? And when you see that guy, he would like to murder me and my family, all right? See, they harass us, and really they want to murder us, all right? And they don't have to worry about the law, because the law is on their side. Because really, look what the police did to that 17-year-old kid. All right. So let's go up to I'm gonna go back to the wear out. Which is Bala. All right. See, and it says, in a mental sense, they harass you to afflict you. See? Now I want to cross-reference this verse. Okay? I'm going to go back to the verse 25. And I'm going to cross-reference the verse. And it says, I'm going to just jump down to wear out the saints. Alright, and it goes to Revelation 6 verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held. Verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true Yahweh, how long, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth, because they murder us? All right. Even that Jake, the 17-year-old Jake, he's crying unto the Lord now because he's dead. His spirit is with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, crying to Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai, which he's at peace. But just like Abel's blood cried unto the Lord because Cain murdered him. All right? That's why there's a prayer here, the prayers of the dead Israelites. Revelation 11:7, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, the so-called white race, which rules the world through America and the European Union, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them, which they're going to murder some of us for our testimony, and their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, America, the great whore, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, which they taught lies. The Christianity is lie. The Roman Catholic Church is a lie. Revelation 11:9, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their bodies to be put in graves. Which they didn't tell us who we were. The Holy Spirit reminded us in Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai that we are Israelites, because we're coming to the end and we're going to take the kingdom. All right? And it starts with us acknowledging the truth, Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, and that we are Israelites. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets, the southern kingdom and northern kingdom, tormented them that dwell on the earth. All right? So that's what they do. They pretty much help each other out. All right? And that's why the Lord said about the wicked, being wiser than the children of the light, because they'll help each other when they have power. But Jake, they don't help each other. Jay-Z with his billions of dollars, he's not helping nobody. Geraldo, he ain't helping nobody. All right? Watch the movie of Michael Jackson. He helped nobody. All right? And they got money, right? They got a defense. Look at Oprah Winfrey. If anything, they're trying to entrap you. All right? For the so-called white man. All right? Look at Queen Latifah. Serena Williams, Kendrick Lamar, right? They help nobody, right? They entrap our people for the so-called white race. It says, and it shall, Revelation 13:7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, talking about that so-called white race. They intend to try to slaughter us. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. That's why they're able to murder in Iran, all right, and get away with it, commit war crimes all over the world, all right. It says in Revelation 13:8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And the reprobates of the nation of Israel in America, the 2/3, they're going to be deceived by the chaos the so-called white race causes into accepting implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, because they're afraid. All right, but the elect, all right, we're not afraid like the 2/3. We're willing to die for the truth. All right, and that's why they hate us, because we don't conform to their lies. It says in Revelation 13:9, and if any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So all we're doing is waiting for Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai and to save us and to bring forth the second death upon the Edomites' kingdom, which is nuclear destruction, after they make that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling, which is going to deceive the 2/3 that are here in America. It says in Revelation 14:12, Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushai. Which this is how they want to wear us out. They want to cause us to lose faith and to lose patience. But we must grow. And the way we grow in our faith is by hearing the commandments of Yahweh and seeing it play out, knowing that Yahushai is near. Revelation 16 verse 6, for they have shed the blood of the saints, sanctified Israelites, and prophets of Israel, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Which these devils, the so-called white race, they're fit for destruction. All right? And it says in Revelation 17 and 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, because when he seen the vision, he saw a beautiful woman that represented America, the great whore. Revelation 18 verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Which the so-called white race, they are the red devil the Bible speaks of. And this is the evidence. They're able to murder, whether it's here in America or if it's over there in what you know as the so-called Middle East, right, on the continent of Asia, and there's nothing that is done to them. All right, no justice goes forth. All right, so Yahweh has to send Yahushai back and bring judgment on them, which he's going to make them pay for fucking with us. Revelation 18 verse 21. I'll start at 20. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai hath avenged you on her. I'm going to get the translation comparison. NLT, rejoice over her fate, O heaven, and people of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, which are the Israelites, and apostles and prophets, which are Israelites. For at last Yahweh, sending Yahushai, has judged her for your sakes. And this is why he has to do it. There's no justice here under the so-called white race, the red devil the Bible speaks of, which takes peace from the earth. They are not the peacemaker. They take peace from the earth. All right? With that, all praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Ha, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone Mount, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abba.